Are you ready to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Courtney.
Okay. So we're just gonna start off with just a little bit of an introduction. Micaiah, you got that?
Yep. Hi, you all. I'm Makaya. I will be a freshman at the DePaul University. I'll be majoring in business.
I'm Courtney. I am a senior at Level Math and Science Academy, and yeah.
Hi, I'm Danae, and I'll be a senior at Kenwood Academy.
Us three were Ladies of Virtue Senior 2022 interns. And today we're entitled How to Wear Her Black Girls, Why Do We Owe the World? Embrace what makes you unique, even if it makes others uncomfortable. I didn't have to become perfect because I've learned throughout my journey that perfection is the enemy of greatness. Janelle Monáe. We chose Why Do We Owe the World because we wanted to reflect on our past and reflect on what brought us here and how we're really deciding to make the decisions for our future. Go ahead, Courtney.
All right. So, we're talking about, why the world hurts black girls. So we're just going to reflect on, just feeling of guilt and stuff like that. And yeah, just how we sort of feel like we have to give everything to others and not really, benefiting from it for ourselves. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about personally was the mammy stereotype. And just to explain what the
What
mammy
is what
stereotype,
is a mammy stereotype?
I was just about to get into that. So basically, the mammy stereotype basically comes from slavery and mammy. So the word mammy was word used typically to describe black women who are made as homemakers in white homes. But now that stereotype extends over into just the black community in general and how we feel that we have to be responsible for everybody's children, everybody's everything, just because we have the resources to help them, and just basically feeling like we have to help everybody and be put into that motherly stereotype. And you can see examples of this in just like being everybody's therapist and sort of feeling like you have to help everybody that's in need or in danger or anything like that, and feeling like you aren't doing your part if you aren't doing that enough. And then also talking about how you have to always be available to help everyone, and even when you aren't, there's sort of like feelings of guilt there as well. And you could talk about how being black and white spaces, you sort of feel this way, but also just in the black community in general. If I can't help cousin Pookie, I'm in the wrong, you know what I mean? But if I go forward and have to help everybody, and just being there for everybody is sort of something that's ingrained it for us as being little girls. That's something that we always have to know and be aware of. And I think that's sort of something that's very specific towards the black experience as well. And just all those things. Y'all
Yeah,
have anything to like say? Yeah.
I feel like growing up, even though I've been the youngest my whole life, I always felt like I was the oldest. Like I was always the one who, if I went to the corner store, I was the one who was like, "Oh, did y'all get my sisters this, that, and the third?" And my grandpa like, you on my dime talking about did I get somebody else that? And I'm hustling for my sisters at the corner store, making sure they got what they need, and I'm really not thinking about myself. So I feel like I can totally agree that. Like you always feel like it's your responsibility to either take care of somebody or do something, and you always feel a little bit of guilt when you don't. So yeah,
Hmm.
Dania, you any thoughts?
Um, I get what y'all saying. I don't know if I really like went through that phase, but I could say like and like like the people you hang around with their scenarios, and it's like okay, you might be the oldest, but say you the only girl, and oh, you got to clean up and you got to do this and you got to do that, but you got little brothers or older brothers and they don't do nothing. Like they could clean up, they could cook, I shouldn't have to do everything for them.
Yeah.
I feel like being around black men in general, I always feel like I have to like take care of them, or like have to be like,
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't treat them like the men that they are and just let them take care of themselves. But like it's always been like whenever I'm around black men, I'm like, oh, is he okay? Oh, or even like, and
Yeah.
I know you could also like extend this to sort of like Black Lives Matter. That was started by black women, and you could see like Black Lives Matter. They sort of only really take issues of where black men are being hurt or being
Mm.
mistreated or anything like that. And I think that's sort of like indicative of sort of like that stereotype as well, is always being there for black men, but when it's time for them to show up for us, it doesn't really happen.
Mm. I feel like I felt a little bit of like agreement when you said you were like sometimes you always ask people when they're okay. I feel myself in high school a lot being that person, especially when it come with boys. You know, it always be that one that's probably a little quiet, a little not.
Mhm.
You're like, hey, you okay? What's wrong? Da, 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 da. And they'll be like, nothing. You be like, oh, okay. But it's just like the fact that you asked. So I totally
Right.
agree
Then
that.
you'd be like, "Oh, I'm here for you if you need to talk."
Yeah.
Right.
But a lot of people, a lot of boys and men or whatever don't talk because the situation they raised in, because a lot of men don't like to express their feelings or speak on certain situations, because a lot of females, I guess, or how they was raised, make it seem like I don't care what you gotta say. He crying, ew, like, and it's be like,
Mm.
why? Like, we shouldn't do that. But at the same time, it's like, is you okay? Like,
And
you know,
honestly, you know what I sort of think about all the time. I just think the patriarchy is harmful for everybody. With like, if men are seen doing anything that's labeled as feminine, or
Mm.
women are seen doing anything that's labeled as masculine, there's an issue.
right,
Like, it's not just, oh, we targeted men, men aren't allowed to express themselves. It's not even just that. It's just people don't like women. It all boils down to a lot of it. People just don't like women. And like when I see like a lot of guys talking about how, oh, women don't care, da 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 da, at the root of that, it's just misogyny. It's really what it is. If you go back and you look at like some of the stuff that we've been socially conditioned to do, like as men or as women, like a lot of it is just, if you like, not women stuff. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. It's a lot of things where I just sit back and think. I'm like, if people didn't hate women, like, yeah,
Yeah, where would we be? Like, how would the world really be?
yeah.
Mm.
We have more to
So
add on this, or we moving on to something else.
we can move on to something else. So
look,
the
let's
next
not
thing I
get
want
so
to
much
talk
into
about,
it, because we'll keep
yeah,
Right.
talking.
yeah, not the most, not the most. So let's get into appearance. I wanted to start this one out because I felt like a lot of like growing up is finding yourself. Like I was just talking to my friends the other day. Y'all know the emoji era, like where it was like
Mm.
emoji everything. Do y'all know that era? I had
I'm
the
so
purse.
glad I ain't buy that emoji
Yes,
sweatsuit.
I had the purse, the shoes, the
I ain't
PJs,
get that.
everything. You
I
say
ain't
I
get
ain't get
it.
that. I had everything. So like just part of growing up is like trying to get hip with the trends. Like even now, but it's like sometimes you can feel yourself when you grow up, you feel like you owe something to somebody. Like maybe I shouldn't wear this because it's a black woman. Maybe I shouldn't do this, that, and the third. Like or when it comes to being even in the workplace, like wearing your natural hair, like have might feel uncomfortable or you feel like people might look at you in a certain way. So there's different things that you feel like you always owe society when it comes to how you look, and you just feel like you can't ever be yourself because you always having to think like, oh, this is what other people want me to do. So for instance, I wear glasses, right? I probably never have them on rarity of the time. Like right now, y'all don't have red glasses. But when it's time for like interview time, people be like, make sure you put your glasses on. And you just be like, you're right, I need to see. That's not the point. But it's also the simple point that it's just like, that maybe I'll look smarter or more docile when I have on my glasses, And it's kind of,
Mhm.
it's like a backhanded insult because it's like, what you trying to say? But it's also at the same time you get where somebody is coming from because they want me to
Mhm.
get the job. It's not like they don't.
You know what that made me think about? It
What?
made me think about, have you ever seen like, and this is going off topic, but have you ever seen like a hardened criminal go to court and this man show up with glasses on? Like, that's one thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just thought about that when you were talking about
Yeah.
that. I'm like,
Because they
yeah,
got to
like,
look up to the part,
yeah, you gotta look like you know
Like
something
he
about
ain't do
something.
the
But yeah,
crime.
keep talking what you was talking about, Micaiah. That just popped in my head. Go ahead.
Granny, not the most. Y'all are sending me, and we're barely 10 minutes in. Okay. So my question, well, Courtney already started, but my question for you all is: have you all ever felt like you've owed like society when it comes to your appearance? And you could talk to me about tattoos. You could talk to me about having a Rust mean face. You could talk to me about whatever. Let me hear it.
let's see.
Mm.
I feel like me personally because I have like tattoos, for instance. My mom always told me like, oh, don't get tattoos because it can mess with your work appearance. But me
Mm.
personally, I feel like how I look shouldn't determine if I should get a job or not. My tattoos ain't gonna distract nobody. It's about my skills and what I can do
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
job. You know? So like even with my hair, I'm like, okay, I just cut my hair or whatever. And it's like now I'm scared, like, oh, how people gonna look at me? Oh, they gonna try to think I'm trying to this is funny to me, but like, oh, you trying to think I'm trying to be a boy or this, that, and the third. It's like, no, it's not that I'm trying to be a boy or be somebody else. It was just what I wanted to do with my hair or what I wanted to wear. For example, I seen something on social, and I think this also ties in. Social media has a big part to all of our lives. This girl, she wore an outfit with a certain pair of shoes, like a highly expensive shoe, for her
Mm.
birthday, but she wore the same shoe for the first day of school, and people was talking about her. I'm
Oh, I
like,
saw that. It was on Facebook. Yes.
yeah. And I'm like, what's the problem with her wearing? First of all, they were Gucci shoes. Gucci maybe $500 or more. What's the problem? Y'all
Yeah.
expect people to buy shoes or buy something and just wear it once. And it's like,
Yeah.
mind your own business. Basically, that be my
Really.
thing. Mind your business. How she dressed don't have nothing to do with how you dress. How I dress don't have nothing to do with how you dress. And I think social media ties into a whole bunch of that, and I think that's really what the issue is. You know.
Yeah. And I feel like you're right. Social media really got our minds messed up too. Cause I know y'all have thought like whenever y'all know outfits that's on y'all page, y'all be like, I want to pop out with that shirt, but they didn't already seen that shirt. So it's just the idea that like in our head, we always constantly feel like we got to keep up with people just because social media and like famous people or quote unquote famous people, we think that's famous, are able to keep up with the trends and do all of that stuff. You just always feel like you constantly, chasing something that's not you. Like, what if I
Mm-hmm.
want to wear the same shoes? They cute. If they cute, they cute. Simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, you know what? Whenever I start talking, I'm gonna start talking about slavery. But um, for me, I feel like sort of Sunday's best idea is something that
Mm.
is deeply ingrained in our culture as a whole. Like after slavery, dudes went out about their best suit, they best gold, whatever, and they were always dressed like that. I mean, I come from a family. If you come outside looking like a mess, you're done.
Yeah.
So it's
You
like
know what you're talking about.
I've always been like very hyper vigilant of how I look and how like other people will like perceive me and how I look. So like, and I also like I sort of think about stuff like that, especially like being black. I'm like, I know white girls do not have to live like this. White girls do not think this much about, unless like they were raised in a family that's specifically about that. But I know black people in general, like we really do like get on each other horribly about, our appearance or how we choose to present to the world.
Right.
Like that's something that's very like deeply ingrained into our culture to where like you will really think badly of somebody just by what they got on. Like
Mm.
But have
it's
y'all also thought about like how on like social media, how like a white woman will try to like I guess dress up like a black woman, and then we go in on her like to say, "Are you trying to be black?" Da, 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 da. Have y'all ever thought about it? Like maybe they just like our culture, or do y'all take it in like offense? Like how do y'all feel about that?
whenever I see stuff like that, I think this person doesn't know who they are. Like I never really feel offended by it because that is a person that has to adopt something that they don't know nothing about to feel good about themselves. I used to get offended by it, but then I realized like this is a person that is I don't want to say extremely, but not self-aware, doesn't have a
Mm.
sense of self, doesn't have a sense of individuality. So I'm gonna just let them be. Like to add on to that to a person that's already like confused about what they are, who they are, what their place in the world is, I feel like that's sort of cruel. But at the same time, like she knows she look goofy. Like whoever they know what they look like. Like it's 2022. They know what they look like. So it's not like I don't feel the need to add on to that anymore than what they already got going on mentally.
I mean, I feel like it depends on what it is though. Because take Fashion
Mm-hmm.
Nova for instance. Like take things like Fashion Nova or like Sheen or different things
Mm-hmm.
that everybody shops at, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
certain things that like will be like, oh, you might want to put that back in the closet. But then it's other things that if Kim pop out with, the next you know everybody else is black got it on too, and that's the new trend, you know. So I also feel like sometimes when it comes to fashion, that's a really like weird line. But like I will say, when it comes to like different hairstyles, yeah, that's when I'm like, yeah, nah, take that back. Like when it comes to box, I remember TikTok was popping when it was like white people was doing box braids and knotless and all the different hairstyles. That was when I was like, yeah, I need to sit down with that one.
Like,
That wasn't
no,
yeah,
ma'am.
no.
No, ma'am. But then another thing is they be getting on like I feel like it's different status with each other. You got the black women. We basically started everything. Then you got the biracials. Like, sometimes they get hated on, and then
Sometimes they do.
sometimes they be like, okay, whatever. And then you got the white. Oh no, y'all don't need to do none of that. Stay at your culture, you know. And it just be like, cause I be feeling bad for the biracial people, cause like people just think y'all white and y'all got some black in y'all, you know.
I mean, but also like even like the Sheen outfits and stuff like that, like it feels like black cosplay sometimes.
That was
It
a
does
word.
feel like
That
black
was a
cosplay.
word.
Like when you see like when I see certain stuff, I'm like when I see a white woman with a bust down middle part wearing a tulle dress, it's
Don't let her get a shirt that say "baby girl" on it.
right, and this
Yeah,
it
please,
it does
please.
start to feel like it. But back to what we was talking about
Yeah.
in appearance. I feel like that sort of thing is something that like we take a lot of pride in that. So I feel like we definitely do take a lot of offense to that. And then also like appearance and going back to like the rest of B face or the rest of mean face, whatever. I have a really bad one. Um
Me too.
I
Me too.
and it really be nothing wrong with me. It really do not. Like this is my resting face. Like there's nothing wrong with me. It's just that's just how my face looks. Like even like my mom will be like, "Is something wrong with you? Why you got attitude, girl?" No, it's just my face.
Like,
And
girl,
like especially
no.
when I enter like spaces where like either people don't know me or more specifically like predominantly white spaces, I do feel a need to be more bubbly and more,
Yeah.
hi, hello, my name is,
Mhm.
I definitely do feel the need to do that because I don't want to like scare nobody or make anybody seem like I'm, a negative person, but I'm not, you know, and that's like something for women in general. But like, I feel like black women definitely get punished for that and more because definitely got that angry black woman, standing over. So like, I try my best to not be perceived as that, even though like, even I don't mind like when people say like I'm a B or I'm an angry black woman anymore. Like it doesn't bother me. But like now it's just to the point where like you have to stop going out of your way to make other people comfortable. Like I think
Mm.
that was definitely something that I had to learn. Something I had to learn like very, and I'm glad I learned it at like my age. I'm only 16, but like I'm glad that I learned to sort of prioritize myself and my mental and just because like that's anxiety inducing. Like going into a space and like trying to alter the way that you act, the way that you behave, just so other people around you can feel comfortable enough to speak to you. Like that gives me a lot of anxiety. Like I'm and if somebody's meant to be in your space, if somebody's meant to be around you, they'll come. Be around you anyway. Like it'll come. So I
Being your own
really
person, basically.
right. You really gotta be yourself and be who you are, and I feel like that's something that black girls learn pretty late on. Like, and it don't be nothing wrong. Like, it don't be like even like without like adverse events like bullying and stuff like that. We still have a hard time finding a sense of like self within anything like that. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
feel like personally, when it came to like RBF, if I feel like it all came with time, because I feel like growing up, I was real bubbly. Like you gonna always see me smiling, especially now. Y'all know me, so y'all know I'm always smiling. Now through the mask, especially like from the nose up, I look like the meanest person you'll ever meet. So it's just like, especially at work, y'all, because whenever I was at work and having to be a cashier, every day is not the best day, and sometimes you just be like, I'm ready to get in, get out, make my money, and sometimes I like found like black men coming up to me, oh smile, you should be happy. Da, 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 da. I'm just like,
Boy, stop talking to me.
right. Stop. Remember, I'm at work, so I'm also trying to be like, okay, okay. But it's just like it get a little irritating because you feel like you have to constantly change like your mannerisms and how you are just to fit in a society, you know? And that's not always
Mm-hmm.
the best. And it's also sometimes in your head we do it unintentionally. And if you think about it, that's a lot of personal bias that we have ourselves when it comes to going to spaces, especially going in white spaces or interview spaces, anything that's like something that we have on the line. We think about you sometimes start to strip everything of yourself in order because you know you need that thing and it puts you in a survival mode. And like Courtney said, survival mode can give you like a lot of anxiety. And eventually you learn like lose sight of who you are. Like if I'm just coming up like, oh, I'm finna constantly straighten my real hair and that's not gonna be me. I'm not make sure I don't wear no lashes, don't get my nails done. Y'all be miserable. Like I feel like black girl beauty, like the black aesthetic, like sitting in a chair, my mama pulling my hair. Oh my God, let's not even start there. But the
With the
comb,
hot
just everything,
tone.
yeah, the hot comb, like everything, like that's a whole like vibe. Like, and I just feel like when you like sometimes go out into the world, we lose sight of it because everything we've been through our society makes us feel like we have to be another way to make it, you know, and that's like a really sick type of mindset. But eventually, like Courtney said, you learn that it's hurting yourself than it is other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I go into a room and I'm all bubbly and I really don't feel bubbly, everybody else is looking at me, oh, she bubbly. But in my head, I'm like, I'm ready to go home. This is not who I am. Or I'm fake, you know? Like, and that's the worst feeling in my opinion to feel fake. Like that's the worst feeling ever, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like for Black women in general, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to school every day and dripping and drowning. I'm not.
I'm
Like, I feel
not.
like a lot of like
I'm
I'm
not.
not having my hair done all the time. I'm not doing that. Like, and I feel like so much of like just beauty in general and like appearance in general is so like traumatizing for Black girls because a lot of the stuff that we go through and is like a cultural identifier. Like straighten your hair, like your hair is your culture, your body is your culture, your nose is your culture, your lips are your culture, and it's crazy. Like a lot of girls want to like change that about themselves or don't feel accepted enough to be truly who they are in like a public space. It's like extremely traumatizing, and I think it's something that is very specific to like black experience. I don't know. But yeah, that's just like I don't know. I feel like appearance in general is such a like layered conversation to be having.
For
Especially
sure.
like we're women, for women in general, like it's always difficult, but especially for Black women because we have pressure put on us from like our own community to look well and act a certain way and be a certain way so you can be an acceptable Black girl. So eventually, once you struggle and find that Black man that makes you struggle some more, will marry you eventually. Like
Ooh, Courtney.
not to
Ooh,
talk about
Courtney.
y'all, but like it's just so much pressure to just be like this perfect individual and nobody's perfect at all. Like a lot of people are extremely hypocritical in our community about what to look like, because even if appearance if it's on to the nines, your personality is probably trash. It's just a lot of things like concerning appearance that I really just don't feed into anymore because it's so just dumb and not productive for anybody.
With that,
Mm.
that's why I tell people, um, it could be a pretty door, but behind it could be a lot. Like
Yeah.
somebody could be real pretty and real beautiful, handsome, whatever, but once you open that door and uncover them, it could be real ugly. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so you have to watch out for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It was
Speaking
weird.
of real ugly, y'all. Speaking of real ugly, let's. I was like, let's, because you made me think about something. Let's talk about the on your elders when it comes to like clothes and like when they come in the house. Like, let's start
Oh
that. Courtney,
Jesus!
stop looking at me like this. Let's start that conversation. I just feel like we
Hold
can't talk
on.
about appearance when it's not about. Oh my God, Danielle.
Woo!
We can't talk about appearance if we don't talk about how it is when we're around our elders.
You said with your elders?
Yeah, with our elders.
Oh yeah, let's see. Okay, so like me personally, my mama gonna tell me where we going, and I mean whatever you got on, you better think about it wisely, because you know who you finna be around. So like, if I know I'm finna go to a
Mm,
family event, like around my nana and her siblings, her older
mhm,
siblings, I know I'm not gonna come up in there with no booty shorts and crop top on. Even though I'm at the age that I'm at, or even if I was older, I'm not gonna come up in there with my chest all out and my cheeks hanging out or whatever, because I learned the other day, basically they used to wear these things that what's it
A
called?
girdle?
No, not a girdle. It's
We
a
still with it.
I think it started with an S. I can't remember the name. We was just talking about it. But basically you wear under your dress so you don't
Spank?
see
A
what's
slip.
under it. Huh?
A slip.
Yeah, a slip. That's what it's called. A slip. And
Well, I ain't never heard no slip, y'all.
I just
Oh
learned
my
about it the other
God.
day. But
Never
basically
looked
now
that
they
up.
come in the dresses. Like, you know yup, a slip. You know like
Like
do
that
you have
white
a dress
fabric that
and it
be in a
comes
dress
with that
sometimes.
second piece under, like if you have a sheer dress on, like a see-through dress, and
Oh,
that piece under
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
that's what
A
it
slip.
is, basically.
Okay.
A slip. And they was saying, like, when they was growing up, they would have to, like, if they was wearing skirts and stuff, they would have to put those on so their granddad wouldn't say nothing to them, because he would just say whatever would come to his mind. He say, basically, like, if you ain't have a slip on and you could see what's under your dress, you are a lady in the night.
Mm.
A lady in the night.
Lady in the night.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I used to have to wear slips when I used to like be over my granny house a lot. She used to make me wear a slip.
A lady in the night.
My nana might catch this Facebook Live, but still, it's I used to have to wear a slip. I'm sure if one day I showed up in a dress that's see through, she gonna give me one. But like,
I'm just stuck on Lady in the Night. I'm sorry. I'm still back there. Y'all look up here and I'm still back
a
there.
lot of that stuff
Y'all
with
know
like
what a lady in the
appearance.
night is.
A lot of that stuff with appearance too is just so. Cause I'm gonna be real, like I'm not a skinny girl. I'm
Never been.
never tried to be. So like I've
Right.
always had sort of that going on, and as I gotten older, you know, I felt like more pressure to cover up. I mean, I've never really dressed like revealing or anything anyway, but like I know when I'm going over somewhere, there's somebody that's more conservative that's gonna be there. Like I'll go. I'm wearing the long sleeve. I'm wearing jeans that don't fit me too tight. You know, just certain stuff like I just wouldn't wear. And I mean, because I'm gonna be real, older black people are mean. They are mean. So like
they
a
mean.
lot of them, like you really just don't want to be talked about. So you just wear what you want to wear. And like even if you do wear like the modest outfit, why do you look like a boy? Like
I'm telling you. My grandmama, I'm telling you, she asked me when I come out, she said, "You trying to be a boy?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
She said I wasn't, basically she was saying I wasn't grown to have a haircut like this.
That's a good topic though. Like how like sometimes different
Age
different
defines
hairstyles.
certain things.
Yeah, like they have
yeah.
age. Yeah. Like
Yeah, I
can't
remember I tried to paint my nails red one time when I was like 8 or
Red is
9.
always gonna be
And they were
grown.
like, no,
grown
you aren't.
sexy.
That's too grown. No, I still don't wear red nail polish because of that.
Neither.
When I feel
Like,
grown, you'll see it on me.
y'all
I
traumatized
ain't
me.
never
I
had
don't
red
touch
before.
it.
Every other color but red.
Right? Like
I
I
won't even
don't know.
lie, y'all. Y'all know them thigh highs, y'all. Them thigh highs. Them have forever been grown. Y'all,
Wait,
I won't even
you
lie.
talking about
I got
the
my
boots?
first. Yeah, the boo heels. I got my first pair this year. Y'all know I'm going to college. I'm a little grown. But I'm saying, like, all my life, I wanted them thigh highs, y'all. And I finally got some. But, like, every time I look, even the ones without the heel. Now I got the ones with the heel, you know. But even the ones without the heel, y'all know the little rain boots that go all the way up to your knee. You think you're grown. I wanted them. They be like, girl, you is not grown. I'd be like, you right. You right. You right.
It's just certain things that are like elder. Because my family personally, like my mom had when she was 35. Her mom was born in the 40s. Like I got older people in my family.
Right.
Like my dad was 41 when I was born. So it's just we have a lot of older people like just in our family in general. So like I feel a lot of like pressure to be sort of traditional in the way that I was raised. Like people really do like be coming at me crazy. I feel like I wasn't raised like that traditionally, but like there is certain stuff like I just cannot do, or stuff that like that's just not like when people cuss around their parents.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Because if I was to ever get that tone with my mama, I'd be 6 feet under. I know
The
that.
only times ever that my mom has ever heard me cussing was when she would be like by my. I was probably like on the phone with somebody cussing. I remember one time she called me on the phone with somebody cussing. She was by my door. She was like, "Why are you cussing?" Then the other time it would be like she was like watching a video and it was like me cussing. I've never actually cussed in front of my mother's face, and I could put that on everything that I love.
The one
I've
time
never
my
done it.
cuz I was singing a song and I said it by accident.
I never had that slip up.
After that, I'm like, and then you know
You're
how
like,
like they give you permission to say one word, and I'm like, nah,
no,
I ain't even gonna try it because you gonna try.
I
it
never
again.
had that. I never had the permission. I want. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I never even asked for the permission. I would just be like DASP.
Yo, because you'll be
Like,
telling them a story and it be some cursing and they be like, just say it. No, you're not gonna say
no,
it.
no, thank you.
No.
Okay, yeah, I know we could talk about this for hours, but we got a lot of stuff to touch on. So let's move on to the next one. Next thing we're gonna talk about is careers. So, y'all are still in senior year, I'm be a freshman in college. So I wanna know, like, have y'all ever felt pressured to like go into a certain career, like just because you was a Black girl? Like, have you ever felt like you wanted to like had to do something? Like I was telling y'all the other day, like how many times somebody have told me I should be a nurse, and I just want to say I feel like that is an insult now. Because why does everybody that walk up to me say, "Oh, you should be a nurse. You should be a nurse"? And I could go back to many stereotypes, but
a lot of people,
yeah.
like when people say you should be in certain careers, it's based off money. Me personally, I cannot do something. Of course, I want to make a financially stable life, but neither am I going to do a job that I hate. Like I remember somebody telling me, "Oh yeah, you gonna be a lawyer." No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Don't tell me that because I'm not gonna do it. Cause y'all know me personally. Me being a lawyer, like I might like to argue, but sometimes when I be saying something, it don't be making sense. So what I look like defending somebody, and then I say the wrong thing, like.
Yeah, you looking like, wait, I think that was the other client. My bad.
Right, that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say was not up. You're going to jail. You see, that's what I'm saying. Like me, and then I'm a creative person. Like lawyer just don't fit right for me. I need to do something that I can put my art into or my hair into and all this extraness. I can't be no lawyer. I couldn't be a nurse or doctor either because somebody's life being on my line.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, that's
I cry
scary.
every day. My mama will get a phone call from me every day. Mama. She gonna stop answering the phone.
No, one thing about it though, whenever an adult tells you that you should be a lawyer, is when they really want to say something to you when you arguing with them, but they don't want to say that, so they just gonna tell you. They just gonna tell you should be a lawyer.
I ain't gonna lie, all the kids that want to be lawyers, they go get it back because once they get in the argument, they gonna have some facts, and the parents gonna sit back like, go to your room. See. It's your problem.
Or the I'm mama or the I'm daddy, y'all. The I'm mama or the I'm daddy thing when we in an argument be killing me. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Please,
bro, don't get me started on that because my mama gonna say this. I'm really gonna start talking about her.
I'm the daughter, so like we could be arguing unnecessary facts.
Whenever me and my mom disagree about something, I'm the mama. Nobody disagrees with you, man. Nobody disagrees.
No one's in competition.
Nobody's questioning that. Nobody's questioning that. Like, I'm literally just asking you, why do I have to stay here at this specific time? Like, that's not what we're talking about. Like, but no, like, even like, but going back to like my mom and just careers and stuff, like, my mom didn't finish school. So it's very important to her that I finish school, that I do well and get a good job so I can get a good house, like, I definitely do feel like, I think in like my mom's side, I think if I do finish college, I think I would be like the first to finish college. So like there is sort of like pressure there to really go to school and do well. Like I think I don't know, because I've always been like smart. Like it's always been like Courtney gonna go to school, Courtney gonna do good. That's never been a question. But like sometimes I don't want to achieve.
Right.
Sometimes I don't want to.
I know you for sure. You have a high standard.
Yeah, it's like it's like sometimes I don't want to achieve sometimes, and like y'all know I'm in everything. I'm captain of the debate team. I'm on acapella choir. I'm what else do I do? I'm
Yeah.
on BSU. I'm in LOV. I'm in sister. I'm in a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and it's like you feel very like pressure to do well because like the people around you want you to do well and see well and do things well, but like a lot of that stuff that they're saying, like they don't really have much advice to offer you on top of that though. Like,
Mm,
and I think that that's one of the big things that I have whenever like somebody in my family like tells me, oh, you got to do this, you got to get this grace, you can get this scholarship. You didn't do that. How are you telling me I gotta do this? You're not offering me any advice. Like, unless you are sitting here in front of me giving me a list of step by step, like just telling me to do something is gonna help me. I know I have to do that. I'm aware. I know that. But it's just like when you're telling me to do something, you've never really done it yourself. And that's why I have to seek outside sources. And then even when I do it, like you're not necessarily sure that I'm doing it right. So like it just creates a lot of confusion and just like pressure in general to like be successful and just do right by your family and stuff like that. Like I know people that have, several generations of gone to college and done all that stuff, like, and they're set, like they have the, even if they don't need the money, they know where to get the scholarships from, they know who the admissions people are at that specific school, they have all those things. And LOV has help, like that's not to knock what we got going on because LOV has been a big help, but going like to not really be able to rely on your family is kind of hard,
yeah.
especially when like you want to do right by them, but you can't necessarily explain what you're doing because they never really been in that position. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah. I feel like I totally agree. But I also feel like we got to keep in mind that it sometimes is our parents kind of like projecting their hopes and dreams on us. Because I won't even lie, I feel like you kind of understand where it comes from. Because if I didn't go to college or if I didn't finish, and a lot of people in my family didn't either. Like some of my immediate people, most did, but when it comes like my grandma, she didn't, and I can understand why she might want me to. But like Courtney said, I've always been like a part of the family. Like I have three sisters, well, two sisters. I'm the third one, and they've all been overachievers, and I was the last one, and it seemed like that just was the road that was laid out for me. And this year, like last year, senior year, hit me like nobody's business because I was always the kid who knew what I wanted to do. First, I think I wanted to be a dancer. Then I wanted to be an FBI. Then y'all
You sound
screw,
like
yeah.
me.
I'm saying, yeah. The TV shows had me messed up. Like, and then it got to senior year and I had no clue. And
I'm
thanks to Laser
telling you,
Virtue because
I'm
I don't know
so
what I would
stuck.
have done. I got you. We'll talk about this later. But I thought that like it was a mess when you felt like you didn't have things figured out, and I couldn't go to my mom and be like, "Hey, with the water," because I don't know what it is about women when it comes to Black women. Like I feel like everything starts with a lecture, and sometimes you just can't take it. Like I feel like
Hey, them lectures
That's not what I'm here
be
for. Like
killing
literally,
me.
that's not what I'm here
Sometimes,
for.
sometimes I just be wanting to talk to you. Like, can we have like, look, they always say I'm not your friend, but sometimes can you be my friend? Just a
be
little
my
bit like when I
friend.
want to
Like
talk to you, can we just
it's like,
talk? Not
yeah,
just, oh, you need to do this and everything. Stop, please, just stop it.
yeah. I feel like it's totally that because you just felt like even though my mom did go to college, she did finish. It just was like you went to college back then, I'm going back now. And well, not back now, but like now. And it's just like things are different. And a lot of people, I just felt myself a lot of time this year. I was like, what if I don't want to go to college? What if I just don't? And my mom has never been a type to like pressure me. It's always been what I wanted to do. But you always feel that underlying where it's like, what else will I do? Like, I feel like going to college is all about knowing a card is laid out for you. Because for me, I didn't have anything else. Like when it came like picking a school, it was like, you go to college in this family. Like, this is what you do. Whereas other people, like, for instance, my nail tech, love her, by the way, you all. Brass Nails on Instagram, y'all. Love her. And she's a nail tech. And that's what she does. That's her passion. That's what she's doing. Or, like, other people I know, like, Danae, you got all stuff going on. Your fashion, everything. You do hair. You got stuff going for yourself. So it's like, for me, a person who was like, yes, I do other stuff, I dance, but it's just like in this family, even though my mama didn't say nothing, I always felt like in this family, you go to college. So what else you gonna do? Like, and then when you think about like what happens if I don't go to college, you just always feel like this underlying pressure, and it's just like, maybe what if I want that quote unquote soft girl life, like Courtney was touching? Like, what if I don't want to go? And you just, but you always feel like there's nothing else, so you feel like you have no choice. And then, but I'm starting to learn though, those are the people who also, when they get in college, you learn you don't like it. Because why send yourself to something if you know that's not what you want to do? And all year, I really had to analyze what was next, because I don't even lie. Senior year hit you like nobody business. Like, I don't care if you think you're the person that's everything, because I was one of those people, smart, straight A's, did everything needed to do, and senior year still came hit me like nobody business, like a truck, y'all. Found me on aisle 2 in Jaws, wanting to be laid out every night. Like, when I tell you, it was a lot, and it just was like, this year, life really started getting real. Like, this wasn't just FBI thoughts no more. This wasn't just, oh, I'm picking this career because I watched this on TV. No, like, I really feel like I really had to see myself figuring out what was next, as in like, could I really see myself doing this? And I don't want to get to college, and it's a lot of money involved, y'all. College ain't cheap. So it's like, when it comes to scholarships, and there's somebody else who really want that scholarship, there's somebody else who really want to go to that school. So it's like, could you take that opportunity for somebody else? But technically that's another conversation, because what's yours is yours. So if you get it, it's yours. But it's also that same topic that is like, it's somebody that die hard want to go there too. But if you know deep down you don't, why even apply? Like, that's a waste of your time. You get what I mean? Go for stuff you know you want to do. You know that you can see yourself doing. Am I making sense? Y'all tell me I'm making sense.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
hear
and
you.
then
We hear
you touched on something that's really hitting me home. Um, my dad. I'm trying to remember how old it was. My dad went to college in the late '70s, early '80s.
Uh-huh.
My mom went to college in the '80s. So whenever they try to tell me something about going to school and how, because my dad went to Howard, he doesn't really talk about it, but he went to Howard, and like, I'm sure like the cost barriers and everything was there. He work studied, but it's so much different now than it was for them. Like, I really have like a hard time. I really have like a hard time with explaining certain things to them, or really just like being able to relate to them, because like my mom is definitely like a worrier. Like, she sees stuff and like she tries to express the stuff that she sees, but she doesn't necessarily have like the same experience that I need for what I just that whole thing of you went to college then, it's different now, really just hit me, because my parents went to college 4 decades ago.
you.
So like,
Friend.
it's just
I'm sorry.
it's
Friend.
Let's see.
but
Yeah.
let's move on,
Something
cause
like that. Something like that. Okay, go ahead, Danae. We'll let you take it for the next one.
Time for the next topic. So we're gonna move into generational trauma.
Danae.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what generational trauma is, it's basically a psychological thing. Wait, hold on. I wrote me out a definition because why not?
Why not?
A transgenerational trauma is the psychological and effects that the trauma experienced by a group has on generations in the group. So basically, family, like what your parents have done, not done to you, but stuff that has happened from generation to generation to generation. I kind of picked this topic because I did my leadership project on this, and this was something that I could add. Sorry, mom. Something I could speak on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question to y'all: have y'all ever, and the people in the comments, y'all could talk to, you know,
Cool.
have y'all ever experienced any type of generational trauma, or think you have, or you know?
I definitely think my relationship with men is definitely affected by generational trauma. I'm gonna be real. My great grandmother, she remarried. My grandmother, she remarried. My mom, she hasn't remarried, but her and my dad aren't together. So I think definitely just not being very like close and understanding of men. Like there aren't even like a whole lot of men in my family. But,
Mm.
like on either side, like my dad is like an anomaly kind of on his side of the family too. But I think it's sort of something that definitely affects me because I didn't grow up like seeing a lot of men around me, and I don't have like a whole lot of male friends either. But I definitely think like my grandmothers, my great grandmothers, like their adverse experiences with men definitely sort of affected like my view on men and how like I approach like even just like talking to them, not even just going into like dating, but talking in general. Definitely like just I have my own like superstitions and my own like, oh, I have to be wary of you because I don't know what you own and da 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 da. But like I don't know, I feel like that's definitely like an effect of it because I haven't really been like socialized to them as often. But I also think just
Mhm.
like generationally, like I haven't really seen outside of the men that they remarried to, like positive like influences of like men in my life outside of them, really.
Mm. I can totally agree, but I also, even to take it a step further, I feel like generational trauma for me is like the way I view love, like growing up, and even in the way now it projects when like I'm loving people, and I feel like growing up, I feel like I love you was just something said, but I never really knew like what it means. Now growing up, it's like, yeah, I know these people love me, but it was just like sometimes I feel like I love you was used for excuse of a lot of things that were abusive. Like, oh, I'm doing this because I love you, or this. Oh yeah, I love you. Or if I'm in an argument with you, don't scream at me. You love me, like please. That don't even make no sense. So it's just like I feel like even now, whereas when you get in other relationships, you thinking that's love. You thinking that when we into it, I'm saying, oh, I love you. That's love. Like that don't start from nowhere, you know. Like when you're in relationships with people that it'll just come up, or you'll find yourself saying some things that your mom says. Like
Ooh.
sometimes, you'll
And
be
don't
like, oh,
tell them that you saying it because I'm like, I told you, girl, don't want to hear it.
at all.
Don't want to hear it.
So it's just like
Like
some of the things
yeah.
we pick up, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely like one big thing for me. Like, and that's one reason why me personally, I ain't hitting my kids. Cause and yeah, we
That's
was
a
gonna talk
beautiful.
about this on this topic too. Like, I feel like if my mom wasn't hit, she wouldn't have hit me. And I said this to her like when I was like 10. I'm like, when you hit me, it just makes me
Okay, cool.
mad.
Let's
Like
not
I
have
don't I
BCF
don't
just
learn it.
calling us now. Let's
Yeah,
not have
like that don't do anything for
Oh,
me.
I'm
Like
feeling the
I don't
same
really
shit.
see the point in it. And like I just don't believe in it as a philosophy because you teaching your kids to be okay with somebody that loves them, somebody that's supposed to protect them, putting their hands
Mhm.
on them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's definitely something that I really don't think is beneficial. I just with love, and I read this book by Bell Hooks. It's called All About Love,
Mhm.
and she said, love cannot exist where hurt belongs. No, it was like love doesn't exist where hurt is, and it's just
Mhm.
like even when like
Talking about
physical
what?
hurt. And,
Y'all see Mr. Mila?
no, I see it.
She said y'all a new generation whoopings work. LOL.
Please,
No,
not
it's like,
that much, but no, like
oh,
even um like physical abuse, like emotional abuse, or just like hurting somebody in any kind of way, that is not love.
it's not.
I feel like, and this gonna spark a little debate. I feel like whoopings is just to get a fast solution to a problem with your child that you can handle. It just takes a little bit longer. You can
Y'all ever
handle
got
that
hit with
problem
the
without.
look? Y'all ever got hit with the it hurt me more than it hurt you? No,
No, it
this
don't.
belt really hurt. You're not getting whooped with the
It
belt.
was
Let me whoop you with the
different.
belt and let me
Like
see
whooping,
how it hurt.
like whoopings are only beneficial to the person that's doing the whooping. Like it's literally just a quick way of disciplining your child. You just don't want to take the time to sit down with them and actually address the root of their issue and do the emotional work and labor to prevent that issue from happening again.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
if our mamas in here, hey, don't try to whoop us after this.
Right? No, like no shade, mom, but it's just
No, no shade. No,
she had a lot going
not
on.
too much shade.
I don't knock her for whooping me. It's just she didn't have to, you know.
Yeah, she didn't
But
have to.
yeah,
I feel like I agree. I like that last one. She didn't have to, because I feel like as a parent, it's always a choice. Because I feel like you said, whoopings are generational. It's not like now. I feel like the
slavery.
first person, yeah, very much. Like, are you trying to say I'm a slave? What is this? And if you think about it, sometimes it's like it's just an easy way to make me shut up and make you feel like you're the parent, you know?
Yeah, be
And
quiet
I
before I
feel
give you
like,
something to cry about.
yeah, like, and I'm just starting to feel like lately that, when I have children, I don't want them to be afraid of me. Like, because I
That's
feel
the
like
thing.
that's the
You
whooping.
so scared of
It just
mom,
makes
you
your
know
kid
you
afraid
not.
of you. It don't prevent, and that's another thing too. Like whenever I got whoopings, like I would only be scared of the whoopings. Like I wouldn't think about the moral implications of what I just did. I wouldn't think about what to do to avoid doing it again. I would just be afraid of the whooping. Like it's not teaching me nothing. And I feel like as a parent, and again, I'm not telling nobody how to parent. I just feel in my philosophy, if I ever have children, everything should be a teaching moment because I got to teach you as much as I can. So getting
For sure.
whooped ain't doing nothing. It's
Even not just the whoopings, but hitting your kids like full on. Like I've
yeah.
experienced like parents like they get mad at they like say son for instance, be like, oh, I'm finna punch you in your chest, or I'm finna
I
slap you
hate
in your
that.
face, and be like, wait,
Yeah.
hold on, just because some kids do be like doing real bad stuff just to be doing it, but it's a reason behind it. It's either
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
not, I ain't gonna say not parenting right, but
Mm-hmm.
it also could be something behind it. It could be something going on, or and it's like, hey, you don't gotta hit me in my chest now because that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
hurt.
And it's another thing. Like I feel for me, whoopings aren't a natural consequence in the real world. Nobody is gonna hit you.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna
Like
whoop you.
if
Like,
you break a dish, if you like nobody is going to hit you. So you're not teaching your child the right coping mechanisms to be a fully functional adult if you just whooping them because they did something wrong. Like that
and
doesn't teach them anything.
And if we talk about like how that really will tie into the real world, have y'all ever felt like y'all guilt complex was like really, really higher because of like abuse when you were younger? Like on some, if I got a 95 instead of a 100, I'm like, oh my God, I'm terrible. What's
Oh my
happening?
no! I swear I used to hate kids who did that. Like I would get
That was me.
full
I was
grade
one
on
of those
some,
kids. I
and
was
they'd
one
be
of those
like,
kids.
"Oh my gosh, I got a 96," and I'd be like, "Bro,
But but
I
I
got a
feel
72, and you up here complaining about a
friend,
96."
but I understand. But I also feel like you got to understand like where I'm coming from in a point of like being around
Yeah,
people who
like
excellence was
but I
top
thought
tier.
about it because I'm like, parents be putting that you better get straight A's, or you
Mm-hmm.
not, or you I'm gonna whoop you, and you
You
not
know,
gonna
for
get
me,
this, you not gonna get that.
when I get that anxiety when I lose something. When I used to lose stuff when I was little, my
Your
mom used
parents,
to really whip
yes.
me. Like to prevent me from losing stuff again. But now, even like at my big age, I will almost dang on near have a panic attack if I lose something, because I
Mm.
still feel like, oh my God, my mama gonna whoop me. My mama gonna whoop me. Like I
Yeah.
still
Or you
feel,
gonna whoop yourself or something? You be
oh,
like,
I'm gonna
what?
whoop myself something. But like whenever I lose something, like I still feel
Yeah,
that
but it's
like
been
way.
different for
I don't
kids.
know.
You gotta share more about the
I don't know.
Well, I just want to say, I feel like we have like feel like we've owed the world, but it's just time to start stepping in to where we're really being ourselves. So I guess it's time to move to our final and last topic,
Wait, can
and
we
that's
include one more thing?
go
Mm.
ahead, go ahead. You got
Teen pregnancy.
Oh, okay. We can do this
We got.
55.
I'm sorry, but we gotta include that. We might go
You
a
got
little bit over time, but I feel like we need to include teen pregnancy.
Oh
yes, we
yeah.
can.
Um,
That's yeah.
I would say more of like, okay, so I always had this thought like, because my mama didn't have me until she was in her late 20s. No,
Mhm.
late 30s. She had my brother in her late 20s. And like me, I have friends around me who are pregnant and stuff. And a lot of people, like I know they probably ain't got no hate from it. Like their parents are real supportive and stuff like that. Because things happen. But then you have the other people who's like, oh well, I'm gonna kick you out, and you need to go figure this out, and you need to do this, and you need to do that, and it's like,
Them be the main ones not giving their kids to talk to.
mm-hmm.
Maybe she wouldn't get pregnant. She knew what a condom was. Whoopsie.
Oops.
Oh my God, Courtney.
Look,
Oopsie.
I'm just a messenger. Don't be
Right, we
the
just the
messenger.
messenger.
You
Don't show
talking
me.
about? I feel like I also am starting to come to like my own thing that it's nothing wrong, you know? Because I feel like growing up, it was always seen as wrong. But I know some like grown teens. Like I know a few girls that live on their own and have their own cars at like 16, 17, 18. And I feel like if you feel like you're ready for that, that's on you, baby. Live your life. I'm all about that. Like if that's what you want
Right.
to do, you got
If
it.
that's your
Don't
journey,
discriminate.
yes.
If that's yours,
If
it
that's your
may
journey,
not be mine, but if that's yours, baby, you got it. Okay.
right.
And with that being said, I just think that our elders have made us feel like it's bad or we should wait or this, that, and the third. When it's like, I feel like if you really feel like you're ready, go ahead. But like also Courtney said, we do need a lot more sexual education when it comes to just being Black women and like the birthing or like midwives and like granny midwives and doulas. Like we just need a lot more history teaching, and maybe that will help
Cause,
like our
cause me
futures.
personally, I ain't get the birds and the what and it called the
Yeah, I didn't
birds
get
and the
that
bees.
either.
I ain't
Me
get that
neither.
talk.
I didn't get that one.
I don't know how. Maybe we, cause I don't know. Maybe because we was just, I don't know. Like maybe
It
we
was
was
just
just
automatic, I
around it
think.
or something. Like
Yeah,
I
we
it
just
just
was just
knew.
at a
automatic.
certain point, my mom just assumed that I knew. Like, and I took sex
Yeah,
ed at school. Like, I
right.
took sex ed at school 3 times.
That
So
didn't
I
work. I
didn't
won't
take
even
it.
lie. I didn't. That did not make sense. Sex ed did not
yeah,
make
I
sense.
didn't take it.
Really?
I took it
Mm.
3 times because I took it in 7th grade, I took it in 8th grade, then I took it in 9th grade. So it was just like okay.
Okay.
So it was just like at a certain point, like it just got to the point where my mom was like, okay, she knows. Okay, like yeah, we got to wrap it up though. We got
Yeah.
three
So let's
minutes.
let's move it on to the last topic, and we just want to close it on some being your own person. So how to not feel like as a Black girl to constantly owe the world. How to I want to know some of y'all our solutions to just always feeling like we owe somebody something and not being guilty. Talk to me.
I would definitely say for me, I would definitely say like just be who you are. It's something that you got to come into, and you got to realize other people's perceptions of you aren't, necessarily your responsibility. They
Hmm,
aren't. That has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you.
for
So
sure.
yeah,
I'd also say fail. Fail like nobody business. Because I feel like for me, I went through life and that was my biggest fear. And I feel like I feel like I couldn't fail or that something was wrong with me if I failed. When I feel like the times when I made the biggest mistakes was when I learned the most. So really go out
hmm
here, do what you got to do, fail, learn from your mistakes. Don't ever feel like you got to be perfect.
hmm
I say find your passion. Find your passion. Go along with your passion. Don't worry about what nobody else has to say. If you interested in like forensic science, go do it. If you
Go
interested in
do it.
art, go do it. Don't worry about what no one else has to say about what you want to do. Even if it's your parents, your aunties, your favorite cousins, all that. Just
Mm,
do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Stop listening to everybody else. Because
hmm
at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, they ain't nowhere to help you be who you are. Like
Don't
that's
nobody
just
got to live
you.
with your
Because
decisions but you. Yeah,
right, because
and
be
then
me,
who
I
you
got too
are.
many hobbies. I
Mm,
got too many hobbies that I just can't. And one thing I can say, all my hobbies fit into one. My art, my
mm,
hair. I put my art into my hair because y'all see what's going on with
mm.
this. But
Yeah,
I put
you
my
look
art into
beautiful.
my
Stop it.
hair. I put my art into what I wear. Like me, if I could, I would wear heels and dress up outfits to every occasion. But
Yes. I get
all
you.
my stuff gonna be real
My
decorative
feet gonna be
and
hurting now.
feet gonna be hurting. But I make sure I'm cute.
Yeah,
I
they're
have
gonna
my
be cute.
day. But at the end of the day, find your passion and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
and then one thing too, Micaiah talks about black girl rest a lot. She don't got a lot of time to go into it,
Yeah.
but
Go ahead.
just rest. Be take time for yourself, and then also affirmations. I
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes
Miss Jamila in the
if
crock
I
pot.
wake up honestly, if I wake up and I'm having a bad day, I turn to the mirror in my room. I'm smart. I'm nice. I'm kind.
Put it
I
on your
know what I'm
mirror.
here to do. I'm worthy. I'm responsible. You know,
Mhm.
just like saying stuff that you honestly, affirmations do make you feel better.
Ooh.
Like at first you'll feel really silly doing it. Like I know one song has affirmations in it. I keep forgetting the name, but yeah, like if you find like songs, that say,
Alien
I am
Superstar.
beautiful no matter what they
I
say.
like
Like
my song
Alien
that I like when
Superstar.
it comes to that. I am not my hair by India
yeah,
Ari.
I
I
am
am
not
not
my
my hair.
hair.
I
Can we
am
just talk
not
about
Beautiful.
Alien
my
Superstar by
hair.
Beyonce?
Yeah, I'm the
Beginning to
bar.
I
I'm the
remember
boss.
in the beginning
Yeah.
of that song. I remember in the beginning of the song. Was it Akon? He was saying he had to cut his dreads off to get a job, and then they didn't like his hair like that, and he had to do this and had to do that to just get a job or do this. And it's like I shouldn't have to do all of this. And black women getting relaxers in their hair just for their hair to be straight and stuff like that. I like that song because it's like that's our life for real. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so
I totally agree. I think yes. I
baby,
think yes.
get y'all rest. Go get
Get
y'all
y'all
nails done.
Get y'all
Do
nails
a
done. Get your
massage.
lashes
Just do
done.
what you want. Like
In
make
the
sure you
bed.
take care of yourself because at the end of the day, you are your canvas.
Lastly, you
Ooh,
all,
that's
we
good.
just want to say thank you so much for coming, and we want to let Courtney do our closing quotes for the day. Real.
Now this quote, it says, "The voice of a black woman should always be herself," and that's by Melebo Safodi. And yeah, always be yourself, express yourself, always have your thoughts come from you. Don't just don't do something because your mama wants you to do it. Don't do
Mm,
something because your friends are telling you to do it. Do something because that's truly your passion. That's truly your truth. Yeah. All right. Is that it?
So this was a good talk. I feel like maybe this shouldn't just be a 1 day thing. Maybe we should do something like this like every other week or something. You know?
Every other week is too much. You know I'm busy,
Maybe
girl.
not every other week, but like maybe like every
Every
month.
month, maybe.
Every month. Like just have a different topic and then, you know, because I feel like that was good. We only had an hour, but I feel like we expressed a lot.
Yeah, but we gotta go though.
But we got to go. We gotta go, y'all.
All
thank
right,
you
thank
so
y'all.
much.
I'll talk to y'all later. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.